Hey guys, what's going on? I had some minor technical difficulties there, but we got it. We're good. We're good. Good to see you guys. Brandon's here. Q's are here. Hey guys, how are you doing today? Happy Wednesday. Hope you're doing good. Bravo is not with us again today, but hope you guys are doing good. Make sure everything's good. I'm not sure about the audio, but it probably is fine. Guys, how are you doing today? Yeah, I think we're good, guys. All right, so what's shaking? Hey, when moon, yeah, exactly. That's the question we're all trying to figure out. Well, I have a thesis, and man, I spent pretty much all day today sim trading, day trading futures on my new super scalp strategy, and my eyes are just blurry from looking at the screen. But so I haven't really looked at Bitcoin much today. I have kept an eye on it, but really haven't done any analysis. But I know what I wanted to show you guys. So, hey, if that's cool, let's just take a look at the Dow Jones, because I wanted to show you guys some stuff on the Dow, and then we can look at S&P too. But hold on, I'm getting some notifications here. But I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on over here. Anyway, so this is the Dow Jones. Obviously a red day today, right? But, and I'm just looking at this now, because I've been staring at, I'll show you guys the crude futures chart in a minute, but yeah, let me make sure this is good. Okay. So I've been, we're bouncing off this level here. Interesting. Okay. So Dow got support here at 34.3 on the day. It started red, kind of turned around, actually last 3 hours. So I think S&P went green too. Anyways, you can see that. Let me clean a little bit. I turned my RSI white too, so you can see it. I think it'll show up better in videos and stuff. But so you can see, look, the RSI got a nice healthy reset. This is on the 1 hour. Let's look on the daily. And we need to look at the daily comparison between Dow and Bitcoin. I don't know why it's taking so long. Here we go. Okay, so see how on the daily we had a break and break, and I shared this with you guys in the Telegram. But so we had a break and break, right? You can draw it either like that or even further back. Let me see if I can get it. Actually, we haven't broken that, but let me string it from here to here. So if we string our RSI support line from here to here, we haven't quite broken that down yet on the daily. So that's interesting, right? And but we did kind of break that down. Let's just go ahead and go to S&P because it's a little bit cleaner, I think, on the chart. This is what I shared with you on a side-by-side compared to Bitcoin. And these charts are just so similar. I mean, we know they're correlated, right? But look, we came up here, we stalled out. Actually, we on the S&P came up higher than the double top at 4,600, went past it, and then we got a trend line breakdown. And we kind of consolidated at the top, and now we're falling down below that. So in Bitcoin, what we're seeing is Bitcoin's doing the same thing, right? So RSI break, trend line break. Really, let's look at Bitcoin. That's the overlay. But let's look at this this is the daily. So yeah, let me just zoom in. And I'll point a couple things out to you guys. Basically, it's kind of and we'll flip back and forth so you can see it. Look, there's S&P and there's Bitcoin. You see it? Yeah, that's Bitcoin. Look, same thing. Come up here, higher than this double top. Higher than the double top. Consolidated right here on support. Broke it. Broke trend. Broke support. And now we're falling, right? Look on RSI. We broke down through this bottom support line. You can see that line is drawn from here to here, and we've broken down through that. So the similarities are pretty amazing, right? Same structure, same movement, almost day to day. They're tied into the same thing, right? And I think we're going to continue to see that. I will not be surprised to see crypto and the majors or the indices track together very closely. So that's what's going on. Let's take a look at let's kind of zoom in on Bitcoin first before I had a plan today to kind of go through my thesis for how I'm expecting things to play out. You guys know I hate doing predictions. You guys hate, I hate predicting. I like taking signals, looking at setups and taking entries, that sort of thing, managing trades. But I will give you my best kind of prediction of what I think is likely for equities in Bitcoin, and we can take a look at that. But before we do, real quick, this is the overlay, our equities and Bitcoin overlay. Bitcoin in blue, Dow in yellow, NASDAQ in red, S&P in green. You can see all the four markets are off today, right? This is the daily chart, and it's the best for resolution. But Bitcoin had some catching up to do. It did catch up a little bit. I'm not sure it's quite all the way caught up, but look at that correlation. Just in the movement. Up, Bitcoin lagged here, up to the top. Now equities and Bitcoin are cooling off, and here we are. So, that's interesting. Let's look at let's look at our setup before I kind of walk you through an idea or what I think in my mind how this could all kind of play out. But so we have here Bitcoin on the daily. We did, like we just talked about, broke up through this top level, this double top area here at 45.5, ran up here to 48, consolidated, and no candle body went below this 45.5 level, right, until we broke this trend line. That was yesterday's candle, kind of just barely broke it on close, and then today's candle fully is outside the line, and it's pretty large, right? We're down 1665 on the day. This is a 3.6% drop, so it's tied in with equities, but it's also alone to some regard. But so here we are. What happens next? I shared with you earlier the levels here at, say, 42. I could see this thing coming down to 42. But let me kind of paint for you first. Let's go to the Dow. Or no, let's stay on S&P. Sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. But what I could really see happening. Okay, so I drew a fib on the latest uptrend from late February on S&P to the top. So that's 1 zeros down at the bottom. So I think I'm expecting, or my number is right here at 4,400. It's the 0.5 fib. You get a lot of retracements back to 0.5. We might come down to the 0.618. That'd be 43.15, which is a little bit deeper. So I'm expecting at least a 0.5 fib correction on this move, and possibly a 0.382, which is, you can draw 1 on the top, 0 on the bottom, means it's 0.382 downward. If you flip this, sometimes I draw it the other way. Like sometimes I draw it like this, where 1 is on the bottom, because I'm actually trying to project down. So I leave my 1 in front of me. So see how this 0.5 is still the same, because it's just halfway between this point and that point. And the 618 now is below, right? Because 618 and 382 are just opposites, basically. It's 1 minus 0.382 is 0.618, right? So I could see a correction here on the S&P to either maybe 4,400, maybe inside 4,400, say 43.76, or maybe down as low as 43.15, kind of in this area. And I'll flip this fib back around because I know that's not normal what people see. But, whoop. That's what I'm thinking anyways. And we don't have to come all the way down there, right? Usually the stronger the uptrend, the less of the less of the retracement you need, right? Also notice we have a gap in the S&P. We created a gap overnight because we fell on futures and opened with a gap. So there is a gap. Recall that when we had a move up, this was on Bitcoin, there was a gap that we came down and filled actually. So gap, I'm not a real big gap fill guy, but you know, I know they do have a tendency to get filled. So first on Dow, where this 0.5, 0.382 level would be, just so in your head you can be thinking about, Dow's a little bit different, but the 0.5 is about 33.8 to the 0.382 is 33.5. So I think, so see how the Dow, the structure is pretty much the same. Like you have this data, this price action in here, then you have a lower lobe. So it basically is in here somewhere. It's kind of what I'm thinking. We might correct down into here, right? Or the 0.5 or the 382. So that could mean a correction down to here. And then what I'm expecting is one of two things. And I'll kind of zoom this out so you can see it. But basically, yeah, you guys can see that. All gaps will be filled. Yeah, Chris, I agree. I mean, I'm not a huge gap guy, but I know most people, yeah, like when they study gaps and everything, all gaps get filled at some point. And that's true most times. I mean, don't know a gap that hasn't been filled, right? I don't know. But anyways, I think one of two things, right? So let's kind of zoom out of the Dow. And we have the high of 36.9 and okay, overreaction to FOMC reading notes. Oh, that's going on right now. That's right. Okay, interesting. Yeah. So okay, that must be going on right now because look, now we're fully red again. Okay, and Bitcoin's probably down too. Okay, not surprising, right? Especially if we're likely to come at least to this 0.618 here at 34.2 and possibly as low as 34 or 33.5 here on the Dow. Okay, so interesting. Okay, cool. Oh, sorry, let me go back to, I was just kind of zooming in thinking about that hourly chart because we had the 3 green hours and now I'm sure there's a pretty big red one. But I think one of two things happens. I think either from, let's kind of draw this down to, well, let's take it here to 33.6. So say we go to 33.6, and then I think one of two things happens. I think this is when we start moving back up, right? And it may not be a V bottom, it may be more of a accumulation. But I think from this level we can start moving up again, right? And so one of two things: either we blow off top new all-time highs, or it's more of a not a new high, and we come up here and we stop at some level before more corrections and possibly, you know, the Dow Jones fractal from 1920s. You know, if we follow that, then we blow off, and I haven't looked at that in a little bit, but if that happens and we blow off to new all-time highs, I think the target there was Dow 40,000, and if that happens, then, you know, I think I have a much better idea of what might happen. But let's just say my theory or my thesis is that we come down here, we find a bottom around 33.6 on the Dow. Correlates with S&P at 30. Look at that. Yeah, there we go on the S&P. Kind of falling there. So correlates with about 40, 4,400, no, 4,350 S&P. So I think we could fall as low as 4,350 on S&P. What that would look like if you look at the RSI, right? That would allow this RSI to come in and get a nice healthy reset, right? Something like that. Yeah, Shiba's taking it on the chin. Yeah, all the alts are taking it on the chin today. I wonder what Shiba is down to. Maybe 2,400-ish by now. But yeah. So we could see, I think we could see more red. What is today? Wednesday? So we could see red for another week, maybe a few days into next week. We could see red before we start trending back up again. So that's my thesis anyways. We got the breakdown, we broke down an RSI. I think the RSI needs to reset on the daily. There have been a lot of times where I have thought that it did not have to reset, but the more I studied the data and the charts and the and what's kind of happened, it seems to be, especially once you pass 50, once you pass midway, you usually come to the other side. In fact, when I'm like quick day trading futures, you know, my bias, or what I have to believe as I'm working through trades, is that RSI will move from one side to the other, right? So I have to sit here and believe that this will keep going. So if you get a bounce and things start bouncing, my core expectation is that we move to the other side, like that, right? So that's how I could see it playing out. I think that, yeah, we passed 50 on the RSI. I think we could reset this daily down here at, say, 30 or so. That'd be enough. Just give it a nice reset. Once you get a reset, then you can build strength. Then that's enough, in my opinion, to push out. So I don't think this is over. I'm not an uber bear yet on equities. I think kind of how I could see it, honestly, is, let's say whatever, this comes down to, say, 43.50, whatever, 4,300, something like that, right? And we go sideways for a little bit. What if we get some news out of, you know, what's going on with conflict stuff, that there's a ceasefire and everything's kind of rosy again, right? Well, in my opinion, like, everything is priced in, right? You've got, you know, C-19 stuff priced in. You've got, you know, Russia stuff priced in. All the stuff is kind of absorbed by the market or kind of priced in. So if there were a ceasefire and possibly, I don't know if anything really needs to change on Fed rate expectations, but you know, I think that could really blow off the markets, right? So don't be surprised. I won't be surprised if markets kind of blow off here, and we find a bottom. Watch for the RSI to reset, and then what that looks like again would be kind of a daily buy signal. Let me make sure you guys can see that right there on the bottom. What it would look like is RSI comes down here, bases, goes sideways and breaks out above 35. Boom, buy signal on RSI. Price would come down here and base and then break out. You have a trend break here, and that to me would be a daily buy signal. Just like right here is a daily sell signal, right? Break and break. So this, I'll draw it here. This and that was a break and break, a trend in price. Price trend and RSI trend, break and break, sell signal on the daily. Here we go. And so I would expect a buy signal to look like that. So you'd break trend up, you break your RSI up, boom, buy signal, buy signal. And then I think you'll go past here at least, and maybe, you know, what I was thinking about was, and we can do this on Bitcoin too, but let me show you guys. What I was thinking about was, how does this have to be if this is a 1 through 5, right? And I'm not an E-wave. You guys know I don't profess to be an E-wave guy. But that looks like it could be 3. However, I'm thinking real time here. If this drops below that, right? You guys know what happens. It'll be interesting to see if we break this top here at 44. I didn't think about that before. Right? Because look, check this out. If we break this top right here, that means 4 comes below 1, and that can't happen. So this can't be 3. I'm just thinking out loud here. Or, not out loud, obviously. I'm just thinking. Okay, so guys, check this out. If 4 drops below here, that can't be 1 through 5 because 4 overlaps 1. That has to be 1. So if 4, so this will be interesting. If 4 comes below 1, you've got to redraw that. That's probably 1. That's probably 2. I think what's interesting, I may have just convinced myself. I think I just convinced myself that if this level drops below that level, then, in my opinion, the chances are higher that we have a blow-off top. But if we don't fall below this level, the chances are lower that we will not have a blow-off top. See? I hope you guys are following me here. I just sort of made a revelation. But if we, so we're at 43K. Okay, we'll check out Bitcoin for sure, guys. So if 4 stops on top of 1, this could be 1 through 5, and 5 does not have to blow off. So we might have we may go to the top here. But if 4 drops below 1, a deeper correction here, then I think the chances are better that we're actually doing this and we get a blow-off top. Huh, interesting. All right, guys, I know you're itching to look at, oh my gosh. Yeah, Bitcoin. 5% down in the day. So the wave structure means 3 is biggest. 3 cannot be the smallest. That's the rule. SHIB is at 2430. Okay. Yeah, SHIB is. Yeah, alts are down about 10+% of the day. So with Bitcoin down 5%, alts are down 10%. Alts are bleeding. But look, here's that same. Right. That's right, Chris. Yeah, that would invalidate the original, or my primary count. If 4 drops below 1, that can't be a 1 through 5. So I would have to redraw it and say, well, then that must be 1, and then that's 2, and then 3 is bigger, and then 4, and then 5. So that's just how I see it. I don't spend a lot of time in LA Wave stuff, but I know enough to be dangerous, I guess. But okay, so this is how that would look here on Bitcoin, right? So we looked at this up structure from, say, 37 to 48, right? And I'm not quite exactly sure how to draw where that fib would be, but to honor the low, let's just do that. Let's go ahead and honor the low because the low is there, right? So I think it would be better that, I'm not sure that's valid. It is valid from this time period, right? And you can draw fibs however you want. You can say, like, I'm looking for the ratio of this data, this price action here. What's 1.618 times the range here? And that's that. Or you can do this. So let's say let's start here. So if we're looking at levels, because I have my eye on this level right here. You know, and I've said that I think Bitcoin could come down to 42, possibly fall out there. I think I was looking at this like last week. I think it was Livestream. But anyways, we may not have to. We'll see. It'll be interesting. Yeah. I'm thinking about equities versus Bitcoin and which is further along, because if you look at it, I think let's go ahead and draw that there. And let me get my channel off the screen for you guys. So this is the horizontal line we broke down. Okay. So I took all the data, right? So I have all the data here down to 33, and then then up to the top at 48. So if we come down to 0.5, it's 40K. Okay, 40K. If we come down to an equivalent 0.5, it does bypass this 42. 42 is right there. So yeah, we're at 43.4 right now. Let's see, the low is 43.211. But let me take a look at something real quick. There's the fib. Yeah, I would say this. If I'm saying that the Dow could come down as low, past the 0.5, as low as 33.6, that would mean Bitcoin would come down here too. Down here as low as possibly 40K. So yeah, 40K. I hadn't really looked at this before. But what I think is with this pattern, see this? Kind of paint this for you guys. So we do one of these. And we do maybe that, something like that. I'm also expecting Bitcoin to do, let's say Bitcoin comes down to here, maybe here, say 40K, expect to test 40. What's interesting to me, and this is why I kind of hesitated, paused, is because Bitcoin's RSI, not that RSI leads, because RSI is a derivative. RSI is calculated based on price action. So RSI is a derivative of price action. But look, Bitcoin's RSI is already at 40, and Dow Jones RSI is at 45. So that's what's interesting to me, is that Bitcoin's RSI is a little bit deeper, but not that that's everything. I just found it interesting was we're already, when I was looking at this, we're already closer to being reset here on Bitcoin than we are on Dow or equities. So possibly this doesn't need to drop as far, but again, it's a derivative. What that means is that it's derived from price action. It doesn't lead anything or cause anything. It's like a shadow, right? So it just moves around with the price action. However, there are some key things about it. So, anyways, this is already at 40. I think I feel pretty strongly here that we're going to get a daily reset. This is an easier call because we're already at 40, right? But yeah, I think this comes down to resets too. But again, that will be healthy for the next move up. And a longer, one thing that you'll hear is you'll hear that longer and deeper corrections mean stronger moves up to the upside, which I believe is true as well. So like here on the Dow, if we pull back here and kind of base in here for a little bit and build some support, I think that'll prime us for a stronger move up. The same with Bitcoin here. If we fall down here and base, maybe it's for a week or two. Maybe this is another week and into next week. We're down here back at 40. And then we start moving up. So let's see what that might look like. And then Chris, you were saying 42 looks good. Yeah, right there. Like, yeah, at 40, this level right here. That could hold us too. So we could find support here at 42, or maybe one of these fibs. If you don't look at just fibs, then I look at other levels like, let me kind of delete that all. But if I'm not looking at just fibs, and what's interesting, okay, so there's one level there, right? On top of that structure, used to be a resistance. Ceiling, couldn't get through, finally got through. Hasn't been back tested. Notice that. That was tested there. This breakout here was not back tested. So we might come down and do that, right? So we could test that for support. Or look at all this. Look at all this, all these candles down here. This would be the next level. So what I would do is I would draw my levels here and here, and then I would take my fib, and I would say, what do I want to do it from here to here? Look for confluence. And right there, these two are pretty close together at the 618, right? So We might find support here, yeah, 40, above 42. If not, though, I think the next level would be maybe here at 40, which is that psychological level. So that would make sense. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, wouldn't that make perfect sense? What makes perfect sense is, here, right? Although we were under the 200, right? We were under the 200. We knew that. We did break through. We broke through this level at 44.5. We were under the 200, so we got trapped. So here, a lot of people were calling for like, hey, new all-time highs, whatever. I'm not sure they were, whatever. But because I don't actually go to Twitter much anymore. But what would the markets have a way of making? Remember this: the markets have a way of making the most people the most wrong most of the time. So the markets would not be surprising to have you go up here, you make everybody think that it's not coming back, and then you do a fake out, right? And then you come back, say to here, or here, say 40. We come back here, and even come down here and scare everybody and think we're failing, right? And if you recall back to here, this is July, right? July's correction last year. Everybody, this breakdown, everybody was on one side. Everybody's calling for, cycles over, bears are, taking this thing to zero, all that stuff, right? So everybody's on the wrong, or on this side. This surprised most people. So all the shorts piled in here, we're breaking down, it didn't happen, and here we go. So could that happen again? Well, it's Bitcoin, it can do crazy stuff, but this would also surprise, I think, most people. So what I'm watching for is, the same thing that I pointed out on, what was it, Dow or S&P? Just watch for this. See if you guys can see that. Yeah. Okay. So we'll say we come down here to, say we do come down to 40. Right? See that? What I'd watch for is something like that. This trend to break out to the upside, the RSI to break out to the upside, and on the break and break, in my book, would be a daily buy signal. Daily buy signal. Right? Again, on the break and break, I think it was a little previous to that. But on the break and break of this, it was one of these. I think actually it was this candle. But anyways, you can classify that as a daily sell signal right there. And the question is really, how far are we coming back? And then let me kind of sketch out for you. Oh, I haven't thought about this a tremendous amount, but, and I have drawn this before, but if we have two theories, I'll have to think more about it, and I'll do it later. The Dow Jones, say, blow off top, new all-time highs, follows the 1920s fractal. What is that? What could Bitcoin look like in that scenario? And then also, if the Dow Jones maybe goes back to its old high, does a double top, and then that's kind of the top for Dow Jones. What does that look like for Bitcoin? So, but think more about that a little bit. But I think this kind of could look like this. So you see how we had this parallel channel? You see how we triple topped it right there? And one of these is a parallel channel. Here we go. Let me just redo this. Parallel channel. There we go. See that? I think there's a chance. MZ Tech, what's going on? Break and break so simple, it just takes discipline. Absolutely. That's and conviction, right? When you break and break, it's a simple signal, but it does take discipline for sure, and conviction that you're like, okay, now we're going this way, for sure, man. So see that I drew this parallel channel in here, right? If we come down to, I don't know if we come all the way down to here. It really depends on what equities do. Could we do that? Could we come down to the bottom of this channel? We could. And then come up here like that. I'm doing this all real time, guys. That's possible. And that, I think, Chris, I think your comment was, if we break 40, so say that. So we break 40, we come down to 37. Come down here to test the bottom here. And we test this channel again. I'm not sure I believe that yet, but I'd want to look at fibs closer with the Dow Jones, but because I think they just kind of track in structure. So I think that but it's possible we come down and test this floor, or sort of this bottom support, or not really support. It's kind of 2 wicks, right? But it is a parallel line construction, parallel channel. So we come down here, boom, grab the bottom of this channel, and then do a slow grind up, right? Now this is the retrace back to a 618. 702 would be even further back, right? So is this what that looks like, right? Where it's a long and drawn out on a retracement. I'm not sure it goes that far. I wouldn't go that far with it, maybe. But something more like that, where I think Bitcoin will do okay, and alts will do, I think, really well. I'm actually looking for like a 30 to 45 day period where I think alts can do really, really well, and do what they're gonna do, climb their fib ladders. Hey, look, SHIB's back to 2465. Okay, so we've had some recovery during the day. But anyways, some time period in here, we could see alts do really, really well. Okay, what this theory doesn't do for me when I look at it is this is not the sell and may go away. Also, this is not the April is very good. I've had two theories about time that I've been thinking on. Is I expected April to be pretty good, and that we have a likely sell and may go away moment. So let's draw that. So this would be theory, like, let's call it theory A. Okay. Okay, that's theory A, right? Okay. The other theory is, I don't know how it jives with how Dow would look on structure, but let's just draw it. Okay. B would be something like a quick drop, a quick rebound, back to 55, then drop, then up. Okay. This is my sell and may go away. April, and also corresponds with April is a good month. So see how I try to draw this, but let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so B is in blue, right? So what I was thinking anyways was say, okay, we come down here, we tag, but it could be a much quicker bounce up here to the top, where I think alts could do well, but perhaps it's a sell and may go away. This for me would be get what you can get out of the market, right? Don't ride that down, and then load back in on a buy signal, and then I think the big alt season could be up here. So in my mind, how it could work, I'm not saying it's going to or it has to, but how it could work is say some alts go to, say, the golden zone at 618. Okay, we'll see you later, Chris. Good to see you. But say some alts go up to their golden zone or right above the 1618, and then they fall back, and we need to look at Zilliqa. So we might get a lot of that here, and then that fallback, and then the final push. So let me show you what that would look like on Zil, or what Zil looks like. Okay, so keep the structure kind of in your mind. Now let's go to Zilliqa, right? So right here. All right, you guys can see that. Now I drew this fib from the fall highs, not from the all-time high. But you can do it there too. It's not the 1618 golden zone, but from the fall highs, fib. Fib is just a measurement tool, and all it does is basically measures, like, you put your top at 1 and your bottom at 0, and then you can measure 50% of the way from here to here, or say 0.618 is 61.8% of the way from here to here, or 1.618 is 161.8% of the distance from here to here is that, or whatever. But like 2 at 0.249 is twice the distance from here to here added onto here, if that makes sense. Anyways, it just helps you, it's ratios out distances from start and stop points. So you can do however you want, and then when you measure something, you say, okay, I think the next movement of this asset or whatever will move out 1.618 times the prior range, right? So that's why I kind of deem this the golden zone. So anyways, if that, say we get the B scenario, right, where like Bitcoin comes down, it does one of these and then one of those and that, I think we could see a lot of alts do this golden zone move, where you have a move up, and then a retrace back, and then a final move up. So what that would look like on Zilliqa is needing to its final move, in my opinion, is say, well, let's just give it 4236. Well, that's from the fall highs, but whatever. Let's just say it does go to 50 cents, right? This might happen in the final move. Maybe. I'm just speculating, honestly. That's how I could see it play out, right? Anyway, something to watch for. But let's see, what else we need to look at? Let's zoom in on the hourly. Let's look at Bitcoin on the hourly. Let's see. So we're back to here. So it'll be interesting to see which one happens. And obviously, I think the corrections will be in line. I think that until I'm proven otherwise, I do think that we'll see equivalent Fibonacci level corrections in both equities and Bitcoin. Just so you know where my head is and kind of what I'm expecting. So I'm looking at fibs on both and saying, okay, do we come into the 0.5? Is it a 0.5 correction? Maybe it's not even that deep. Maybe you stop at the 0.618 above the 0.5. Maybe that's all you need, and to hold it before we move up again. Possible, right? So, but let's look at the. Let me just kind of delete that. Let's look at the hourly. What's going on? Huh. So yeah, this is hourly. So let's go to the 5 minute. Yeah, we just bounced off the bottom here. Bottom at 43,205. That's cracking, but 43,205 here. Okay. We'll see. I think we're gonna have to work our way down a little bit. I do. I think so on down S&P. I don't think this is over yet. I'd be surprised if it is. But we need a little bit more. Let me measure this so I can remember in my head where the upper 0.618 is. There it is. Look. Okay. Yep. I'll remember that now. So yeah, look. Again, this 0.618 on the top side. So it's 38.2% of the way down from the top, from the range from here to here. I didn't draw this perfectly. But anyways, 0.618, it's right there. Lines up with this top. So that would be the first place I expect it to turn. Right there. See how that interesting lines up with that top? I could see a turn here, and we're close. That's 42.3, and we're a low of 43.2. That's only $900 more down from there. Cool. Yeah. So that would be my first stopping point, I think. And then down here to the 0.5 or 40 if we go lower. But again, I want to see an RSI reset too. So get the RSI nice and reset, and then build a little bit of a base. And so maybe we're moving back up next week or sooner. I think it's going to be a week or so. But I think April can still be good. I think it's just going to be maybe the back half of it or so. Make sense? I hope you guys are doing good. What else do you guys want to look at? Oh, I want to show you crude. This is what I've been trading lately. It's been fun too. Look, crude daily. We've been waiting for this for a long time. This is a breakout. Now this was a breakdown technically on the line. However, the next day we bounced back inside of it. But today we broke down. Look at the move on crude. It's 5%. This is a huge day. Granted, we've had bigger days. That was 7. This was 12. Off from like 130, I think, on futures. But it's been very volatile. And but on here's we finally have the daily sell signal. But look, RSI is way down here at 38. So we're already cooked way down here. Normally, like this. Normally, this is a pretty interesting. Oh, you can't see it anymore. Normally, you get something like this. And what I'm used to, like S&P or whatever, you get a break and break, but your RSI is way up here. See that? Normally, your break and break is up here. And when you break down, you're still way up here. You're not all the way down here at 38. So I'm not sure this comes way down here. However, this is a really good short from inside of this trend line here at 90, 99, 98. How far do we come on crude? And guys, crude is fun to trade too. It's pretty smooth. Okay, so we're already at the 0.5. Interesting. And RSI is already at 38. I don't think crude needs to come. And I don't have a real theory on what happens next. I was just looking at this chart for breakdown. You know, from these breaks. Breakdown, breakdown, breakdown. You know, just when I saw it kind of going parabolic and everything, I'm like, well, at some point this will be a great short, right? At some point you want to be short that parabolic run. And we finally broke here. This is an interesting draw here on RSI because how do you draw this, right? If you take it from this level, you draw it here, or even here. I guess to be consistent with the candle, you'd have to draw it there, but look at that. You're way down here. That's pretty rare. It's pretty rare to get a break and break when your RSI is way down low. You know, this structure is pretty uncommon, right? The other thing I want to show you guys was, let's check this out. Look at the dollar. Have you guys looked at the dollar lately? Here we go. Look at that. 99.7. I fully expected this to break down. It did not. It reversed here at 97.7 and is now making a new high locally, right? Isn't that interesting? I really did think this was going to fall. But we got a mid-range reversal on RSI. Look at that. This is one of those rare cases, honestly. Although it has happened before. But the RSI reversed from 40. So yes, RSIs can reverse, you know, in the middle of the track. But most times they run from one side to the other. But again, reversal. Here we go. It's full of them. Reversal. You know, here to here. Didn't quite get down to the bottom. Huh, it's interesting. But yeah, I thought you'd find that interesting on the dollar. We are way up here at 99.6. I think this is this indicates flight to safety. Both. Well, I don't know about treasuries. I don't get into treasuries and bonds and stuff like that, but you know, whatever. Interest rates, all that stuff. but 99.7 on the dollar is I thought we would be breaking down. So what's interesting is this, as we talked about before, a stronger dollar is like friction for bulls. So a stronger dollar makes things harder to go up, right? And that's why it's only helping the sell-off, because things are easier for the bears, right? We need a high dollar. So that's, how many days is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Okay. Huh. If that's the dollar. I thought you guys would find that interesting at 99. Pretty far up there. Ethereum. We're still, okay, we're bouncing. Ethereum was interesting because when we looked at the, we saw the weekly close on Sunday. Look, this was Sunday's candle. Remember that? It was actually like an hour before, 2 hours before weekly close. And Bitcoin and Ethereum ran up. But I think Ethereum had a new high and Bitcoin did not, or something like that. But it looked like Ethereum was going for it. And it was. But it just got smashed down and since has been sold off, right? Just pretty interesting stuff. But it's pretty much the same structure. I don't know if there's a parallel channel here. I'm not sure how I would draw a parallel channel on Ethereum. Ethereum was outpacing Bitcoin, and it was interesting to see. But yeah, we're here. I would expect on Ethereum, if we use, let me just pull this back here. If we use all the data, I would expect us, the first possible stopping point on Ethereum would be the upper 618, or the only 618, whatever. The 618 here at 3035, and maybe down here to the 2865. Maybe deeper, depends on really what the broader market's doing. Right, if Bitcoin's equities are fading, Bitcoin's fading, Ethereum's going to go with it. Could come down as low possibly as 2800. Or we'll have to see what this correction looks like, right? So, but that's kind of my thought process for what I was thinking about with structure. So what I was thinking about was, wanting to kind of show today how I think equities in Bitcoin and crypto kind of move together and how those moves might look together going forward and what their structures might look like. And then inside of that, what are some of the key kind of important things or things to watch? That sort of thing. So hope that was useful for you guys. If you had any questions or wanted to check something out, let's take a look at it. But I know somebody in the Telegram was actually asking about, is it Graph? And I think I added it to my watch list. Not here. I think it's GRT, so let's check it out. Because I looked at the chart looks pretty good. Look at the weekly chart. Looks pretty good. Somebody was wanting to pick some up. I like it. But remember, when we look at some of these things, we have, a couple considerations that I use, anyways. But you have to, if you like it fundamentally and whatever, in my opinion, this is a good place in the chart to be acquiring this. So it had a local low here of 33 cents. This is weekly, so it grabs the data. But back to the all-time high is 570%, so 5.7x, and it's pretty nice. If you want to do like a 1.618 fib or higher, what I would do is something like that to the cycle. 1.618 puts it at, I'd say $5 from maybe a 10x. If this thing really gets going, what I like about it is you have, and you can see it here, we have an RSI that's reset coming off the bottom with strength right here. So on the weekly, kind of break and break, right? You break out of that downtrend, you break out of the downtrend on RSI, and you reset on the weekly, and now weekly is above 35. So a weekly red candle here, not surprising. no big deal, really. You know, I think the next move could be good, and we'll see. But I like this. I like GRT, and it's on Coinbase too. Pretty popular. That's kind of all I know about it. But yeah, thoughts on Theta or T Fuel? I don't really have a lot of. I don't really chart those too much, but let's look at. I haven't looked at Theta in forever. Huh? Look at that. It kind of doesn't it remind you of just what we looked at on GRT? Same structure, right? Kind of finishing cycle move, basing period for a few weeks, and now RSI on the weekly is reset. RSI had a chance to reset on the weekly, which is good. Look at that basing period for, man, almost a whole quarter since late last year into, say, March, right? So you did break out. So I like this chart. I already know about Theta and the project. It's huge. It's a great project. This looks good. Look, it looks like a breakout backtest. Breakout backtest. Boom. Pick some more if you like Theta. You might be able to get it for, say, 330 or so, right here, and you're ready for the next move up. And then let's look at T Fuel because it's a different chart. I'm just looking at it. I think this has an old cycle, but not on Binance. Okay. T Fuel. It's similar, right? Not the same. But T Fuel, look, same thing. And this, sorry, my nose is itching like crazy. The a lot of these charts just look the same. Weekly RSI reset coming up off the bottom, breakout of trend, downtrend, and that's good. That's a good signal that the downtrend is likely or has a good chance to be broken. Right. So when you see that, that's what signals to me, anyways, that the trend is broken. And doesn't mean you go up. Sometimes you have to go sideways, right? But that you're likely done going down. So that's my signal for downtrend stopping. Now, you know, let's see what happens next. Maybe we backtest this and then we move up. Looks good. I know a lot of people like T Fuel too. It's good. Great stuff. Great project. I do have some T Fuel, but I don't think I have Theta anymore. So I did. But yeah, that's it. Let's see. I haven't looked quite as much at round robin on some of these others, but man, today is just a red day. Let's go back to like the hourly in Bitcoin. Let's see what was going on. And so we may chop around here for a little bit. RSI is way down here at 20-ish on the 1 hour. So we're oversold. We might get a little bounce here, but oh yeah, dogs. Let's look at the dogs. Shib and Akita. Let's look at that. So Shib's hanging around 2,500, not too bad. I mean, it's not. Here's the thing on Shib. This was when Elon tweeted about something. I think he got the board seat on Twitter. Anyways, for some reason Doge went crazy, right? Well, Shib followed and it broke this downtrend, but it was sold off immediately. And I'm down here at, it fell to 2420 for the mid-range low here. But let me show you guys something on Shib. This move now puts it below this trend. All right, what does that mean? I'm not exactly sure, you know, but I just know that trying to get that out of there. Know that we are below this trend, but it doesn't mean that, you know, it's, you know, for sure coming down to here, but we broke trend to the downside. Okay. Oh, that's 1 hour, but it also shows it on the daily. I'll show you guys this on the daily. See this trend here, the top line trend that we broke out of. Is that yesterday's candle? Yeah, it was yesterday's candle. We broke out of, couldn't hold it, and then now we're breaking the downside. So we're probably gonna come down here in somewhere. I think it's a function of what Bitcoin does, honestly. What all these alts do. One of the top 0, okay. We're already down below the 0.5, 382. I mean, maybe 2318 holds us if we come down here. If not, maybe here, 2100. Get an RSI reset and go again. That's the thing. All these pumps get sold off. And I was telling Bravo this, I think, is that we keep getting excited about these, right? But one of these times, the next time maybe, one of these times it's going to be the real one. And it's going to send it. Right, so that's SHIB. Let's look at, yeah, it looks this Twitter. Oh, let's look at Twitter. Yeah, saying it looks the same as Bitcoin. Yeah, let's check it out. Akita. I had high hopes for this right here. And I had circles drawn, but I guess they're deleted. This. Okay, what I think is interesting. Look at this. And some of these alts might start really going as soon as Bitcoin finds a bottom and starts like up. It doesn't have to like take forever, but I don't know. Anyways, I just look for patterns and similarities, right? This to me, look. This looks a lot like that, doesn't it? Yep. And I have the same pattern, kind of an XRP, with kind of a pre-move move kind of pattern. We just have this fading, this uptrend that fades down and kind of pinches out. This uptrend that kind of fades out and kind of pinches out. Does it mean anything? No, it doesn't mean anything. But it's interesting. That's what that looked like at the end. But notice that was on climbing RSI. We are on weakening RSI. So we're, just have to find some strength. It all has to do with what Bitcoin's doing, in my opinion. Let's look at Twitter because let's check that out. Daily. I have not looked at this in forever. Look at that massive gap because Twitter had a huge day yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was like 30-some%, maybe the day before, if not yesterday. But yeah, look at that. Huh. Yeah, look at all these gaps. It's crazy. Look at these gaps in here. Gap, massive gap. Yeah, I don't really know much about Twitter. I don't really have any feelings. Let's look at Netflix. Not going. I think this is the one where I just think in the Telegram I said Netflix calls anyone. Call options on Netflix. That was back here, but it hasn't really broken out yet. Okay. Well, yeah, NASDAQ actually did really well. I think it was this day. Pretty sure I was watching. This day outperformed Dow and S&P. I think so. Oh, SHIB looks the same as Bitcoin. Yeah, I agree. Yep. Yep, I got you now. Yeah, I was looking at Twitter like, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. It just looks weird. You guys want to see, have you guys looked at AMC? And I'll let you guys go. It's just been over an hour, but look at AMC. Look at that. AMC's back. You guys have seen it. Look at this market cycle. Look at that, all the way down here. Massive rocket up to here. And then a classic sell. Looks like crypto, doesn't it? Looks like theta. Or the graph. And then here we go. Off the bottom. Boom. You're back. This has been sold off, obviously. But everybody's getting excited about AMC coming back. And what's it? The Reddit group. AMC. And what's the other one? I don't remember. Ah, sold AMC, got Twitter. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way it goes, You never know what's gonna happen. But anyways, guys, I hope that's kind of my review for today, the summation of everything. I think we'll see Bitcoin cool off with equities. Look at those levels on equities. I think they match on fibs to Bitcoin, but we'll see. We'll see if it works that way. But I am expecting a little bit more cool off on the equity side. Read down some levels, build a base, and then we can kind of, I think, launch from there. So that's it for the live stream, guys. Hope you had fun. Hope it was good for you. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Thanks for being here. And we'll see you back in the Telegram or next time. Thanks again. Bye.